And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy, Cheap Ludes. And you can tell by how apathetically I am talking at the moment, how excited I am for tomorrow's content in NBA 2K22, my team. So stoked. It was everything that I dreamed it would be, truly. 2K obviously provided us with teases. It's not like I'm super bummed out, but at the same time, it is definitely an underwhelming drop, to say the least. So, without further ado, let's get right into it, right? First thing, another endgame Magic shots. Oh, God. Point guard, center, Magic. This one will have set shot 25 as opposed to the base 3 the other one had. And honestly, a lot of people are making a huge deal out of this, and I would agree that it does suck. And the reason I say that is because there's so many players that need endgame cards. You could look to obvious examples for sweat lords like Bol or Minute Bol. But there's even more obvious examples like Greg Ostertag. Obviously, he deserved one, no question about it. But current day NBA stars like Tatum, Tatum would have been somebody, just something. Bill Russell, but I feel like you can't really do Bill Russell based on the fact that he just passed RIP. That would be a really scumbag move from 2K. Honestly, not incredibly surprising if they were to do that, but you know, it is what it is. First off, the fact that they didn't give us a locker code, not even for Hero Bill Russell, so people could have locked in for the Wilt Chamberlain. Let's just look past that. Invincible Bill Russell. You couldn't just give us an Invincible Bill Russell locker code to celebrate the man. You couldn't do that. Whatever. Anyways, point guard, center, Magic, set shot 25 should be decent. I mean, I'm probably going to pick up Magic at some point, just because Magic's a guy that I usually like. I mean, people will say that he can't run in 2K. I don't think I've noticed the endgame card have that issue. Maybe you'll say that he has that same issue. I don't think so. At least on current gen, it hasn't appeared that he did. Let me know down in the comments if you're noticing kind of the same situation with Magic where he kind of trots up the floor. But from what I understand, he's kind of more balanced out. I don't know. Maybe I'm incorrect about that. Then we got Larry Legend, dude. My man, straight out of Indiana. Look at this doofy fucking guy, dude. This dude, the fact that he hooped at the level he did while looking like this is astonishing. Like, it is. He looks like a mechanic. Like, when people talk about how, like, players back in the day played against, like, plumbers and accountants or whatever, for the most part, they're talking about guys who look like Larry Bird. But then they'll sit there and they'll give Larry Bird the respect. So it doesn't really make too much sense. Either way, small forward, power forward Larry Bird for the endgame, I feel like was kind of lazy. I don't understand why you can't play a small forward shooting guard. That's kind of a bummer, to be honest. I just wish at minimum you could play small forward shooting guard. I personally am not going to get the card anyways. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to draw him. So it is what it is, though. But Larry Legend should be good. Set shot 25, I would assume, but they could easily give him base 3. It's tough to say either way, though. Look at those shorts, dog. Larry Bird. What an athlete. Phenomenal shit talker, but definitely not someone you would think of as an athlete. But I guess he's not all that different from kind of what Luka Doncic does, you know, today, looking the way that he does. So whatever. So everyone was pretty bummed out, obviously, due to this kind of issue that we've seen. This set was kind of a bummer. You know, another Magic was a real letdown. I just wish there was anyone else they could have done. Really, like truly. Anyone, even Jerry West, I feel like people would have been a little bit more excited about, just because it's like at least a new guy, you know, just someone. Terry Dissinger, for instance, would have been great. Even like Klay Thompson or something, people would have been like relatively excited about, but it just had, I mean, people would have been more excited about Karl Malone. They would have. They really would have. They would have been more excited about Karl Malone. I swear to God, I'm not kidding. But whatever. We were all looking forward to the lock-in. Finally, the My Team Anniversary lock-in is going to come to fruition. It's going to blow us all away. And look, before I reveal what it actually is, I will say that although I wish it would have been original cards that you couldn't get anywhere else, just because I feel like it'd be a little bit more worth it in that capacity, the cards that we are getting tomorrow It is still good because it allows you to get cards for significantly cheaper than you would be able to just outright buying the card, at least in theory, until the bots come in here and start jacking the price up on some of these My Team Anniversary guys. But either way, small forward center Giannis, center power forward Kareem, shooting guard point guard Kobe, which is huge. Small forward power forward LeBron and Michael Jordan. So we got the base 3 Jordan, we got the base 3 Kobe, we got the set shot 25 LeBron, Kareem, and Giannis. Very interesting. Now, Kareem's not incredibly expensive. I think he was going for about 500K or so, not terrible. Giannis was between 700K and $1 million for the most part. I've seen him dip a little bit lower, but usually during that range is where he was at. Kobe's astronomically expensive, obviously. LeBron was very expensive too. People like that set shot 25 on LeBron quite a bit. And Jordan wasn't really the most expensive, but he was still like, 5 to 800K for the most part. So, in theory, you should be able to get these cards for 3 or 400K. Yeah, I mean, depending on how much Kobe and Shaq are going for, depends. We'll take a look in a second to see if their prices have spiked at all. Still, this is much better than I had anticipated. I thought for sure it was going to be like Scotty Barnes, J.R. Smith, Anthony Davis. Forgot who else. There was someone else that I thought for sure was going to be in the mix. There's like 2 other guys. Shaq. It's better than that. These are premier players, and typically you don't see that from 2K. So, I mean, good on them. Like I said, I wish it would have been original players, but like, I don't know. Honestly, I would have been really stoked if it was like an option pack and it was like Terry Dissinger, even Klay Thompson. If they just would have done the NBA 75 lock-in guys again, but for the My Team Anniversary, that'd have been great. Or if it was something like endgame cards for some of the best players from My Team past, like, I feel like that only appeals to a certain subset of the player base. So, like, if it was like Gerald Wallace, Gerald Green, Zach LaVine, Channing Frye, just some of the more overpowered cards from My Team past. That would only appeal to like your hardcore My Team guys, most of them content creators. So maybe that's not the greatest idea in theory, but these are going to be non-auctionable. I can just kind of feel that. So I wouldn't look at this as a possibility of making a bunch of MT because 2K will make them non-auctionable locks. That being said, I mean, if you are going to lock the set in, should you specifically choose any of these cards over the other ones? No. If you lock in the East set, you get one, and the West set, you get one. So, I mean, you could, in theory, lock in just the East set or just the West set, and you can go ahead and get 2 picks. But I don't know. I'm probably going to take Giannis and Kareem since I have endgame T-Mac and the GOAT himself, Tyler Hero, running my backcourt. Like, makes sense to grab Giannis and Kareem to run the 3 and the 4. Still hold it down with Glitch Taco out here. So, yeah, pretty stoked about that. I mean, realistically, is there any other way to start this market portion of the video out but then looking at the My Team Anniversary cards? Let's see what's going on with Shaq and Young Kobe out here. Doesn't look like their price has really exploded all that much. I mean, there's a bunch of Shaqs up here. So a lot of people were holding Shaqs, and looks like they're now starting to put them up. So I actually think that Shaq and Kobe could go down in price from what they were earlier this week, just because there's so many more of them. At least in the case of Shaq. Kobe, probably the same. Yeah, I mean, he was going for about 220 a couple days ago, so I think it's actually going to be less than it was before. And I don't think it has anything to do with the lock-in. It's just that so many people were stashing these cards that everyone's putting them up now. So it's kind of interesting. The other one that's going to be a sneaky expensive one will be Anthony Davis, which Anthony Davis, you can tell how many people were hoarding these cards because just a few minutes ago I looked and there was only like 8 Anthony Davises up. Now, dude, there is an absurd amount of Anthony Davises up. I have 3 of these Anthony Davises. You can tell that people had a bunch of them because somebody's price fixed them at 41,000, right? Kind of a bummer, dude. I hate when this stuff happens, but like, I love this because if you sold your Anthony Davis even 30 minutes ago, it was going for the exact same price. I think on Friday, hear me out, I actually think that they are going to do an event with the My Team Anniversary cards, right? I could be totally wrong. It's 2K. They could easily scum out on that, but I think they'll try to sell a wave of super packs on Wednesday. And then Friday, I think they'll have My Team Anniversary guys. Kobe and Shaq, I think, will be in there. Shaq, TTO, Kobe, Clutch Time Wheel. That's my theory. Now, is it going to be accurate? I don't know. Probably not. Either way, you can tell that a lot of people were stashing their cards based solely on how many of these cards are up now. Like, it's actually insane, especially in the case of Anthony Davis, because I'm not kidding, there was only like 9 of them up earlier. Like, legitimately. They were going for about 35K, and there was probably only 9 total up. And now there's so many, and they've all been put up in the last like 5, 10, 15 minutes, right? I would say about 15. They've all been put up since about 6:07, because it was about 6:06 before I started recording this video, and I was looking, there was like 9, dude. Now there's a bunch, and I'm already kind of glad that I didn't put it up for 40. Well, whatever. I don't think it even would have sold anyway at this point, but people were stashing these cards, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because it's like, it's August 1st, and people are still trying to price fix in 2K, dude. The grind never stops. People are still trying to snipe, still trying to price fix, dude. It is what it is. Anthony Davis is going to be a weird one. It's going to be a weird one. All the rest of them, I don't think their price really even changes that much. Like, honestly, I don't. At all. Kristaps probably still around 12. Giannis around 12. Like I said, Kobe and Shaq are actually going to come down in price because there's just so many more of them up. I actually think it's quite possible that they were going for about 220 a couple days ago, right? Which was insane. That's like astronomical price. But I'm interested to see how many got put up since 6 o'clock, because I'd be willing to bet there's quite a bit since 6 o'clock, right? Because there was a decent amount of them up when I looked before, but oh yeah, dude. Look at every like few seconds, dude. Like somebody... One of these MT bots just probably had all these stashed up, dude. I swear to God, I'm not kidding. I'm not one of those MT bot conspiracy guys for the most part, but sometimes you look at the market and you're just like, Jesus Christ, dude. Now, if you have any of these cards and you want to sell it, I also think a lot of people just like, especially the people that would have these cards already for the most part, probably have a bunch of those lock-in cards. So they're kind of just like, well, whatever, I don't need this anymore, so I'm just going to go ahead and sell my Team Anniversary cards. What I would have done instead if it was them is I probably would have put up the endgame versions of those cards and then kept the My Team Anniversary versions. It would have probably been cheaper for you. Like, you would have ended up probably making a little bit more MT, especially with the way that everyone is doing essentially the same thing. So if you had this Kareem, for instance, and that was the one card that you would have wanted, and this Kareem's still going for around 500K. I think it probably is a better option to just sell your Kareem right here for 500, 600K probably, you know, in a couple days, and then just lock in for it tomorrow. Especially if you have all the cards already, it probably only costs you, depending on how rare the cards are tomorrow, which I can't imagine they're going to be crazy rare. Though I would caution you guys, because it's very, very possible that 2K makes at least one of these cards absolutely impossible to pull from these packs. I am not kidding when I say that. And the reason I say that is because they've already done that multiple times, dude. Like multiple times this year. We've seen this exact thing happen, right? NBA 75 1960s lock-in. Dolph Schayes never came out of the packs, dude. He was almost impossible to get out of these packs, right? Elgin Baylor, Bill Sharman, those guys very easy. Looking at the 1970s. Rick Barry basically never came out of these packs, ever. Looking at the 1980s. This was more of Magic Johnson just being super rare, which you can still get over 100K for this Magic, and that's wild to me. 1990s, I don't think any of these were really rare. Hakeem was kind of rare when he came out, though. He was kind of a rare one. 2000s, I don't think Garnett was even that rare. I mean, he was definitely over 100K, but not that rare. But we've seen it. That's the point that I'm getting at here, is we've seen that. Obviously, the return of heroes. We saw it with Bill Russell. Bill Russell has been 100K since the moment he came out, because he was barely dropping from packs at that point, right? So it's possible that one of these guys may be a bit harder to pull than the other one. And I would be willing to bank on the fact that it is probably both of them. Actually, I think both of them are going to come out of these packs significantly less than the My Team Anniversary cards have come out before, because I know 2K, and this is the type of stuff that they do. Instead of dropping like every 5 Dark Matters you pull before, one of them was typically a My Team Anniversary card, right? I would be willing to say it's probably 1 out of 10 tomorrow. Dead serious. I know that sounds wild, but I actually believe that to be the case. Now, we're probably going to get some OOP cards tomorrow. Probably get a power forward centered Magic. That's whatever. We'll probably get a Swish Larry Bird too, who plays point guard. I think that's accurate. Obviously, we'll get the NBA 75, which, by the way, dude, this is going to sound stupid, but I'm really stoked about these because, like, the NBA 75 card art was really tight. So it's like, for the 80s, I like the 80s. I did. You know what's messed up, though? We didn't get any 1970s guys, and the 1970s guys had cool-ass card art. I liked these. These were super cool. These were clean, dude. I liked these. I would have loved a Dark Matter. The 60s one, not that great, but it would have been cool to see, like, you know, Dark Matter versions of these. It would have been cool. I'm just kind of mad, dude. And I know they're not pack sellers. Like, I understand that, right? I get that majority of these guys aren't pack sellers, but just looking through the NBA 75, right? So many people we didn't get. Anyways, I'll keep an eye on the My Team Anniversary cards for you, and I'll let you know if there's any changes that you would need to be notified about. I'll go ahead and post them on the community page. So, you know, go ahead and subscribe if you want some updates like that. If you want to catch your boy streaming, that's cool. I'll be awake at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Probably furious, to be honest. And have a good night, you guys. Peace. Subscribe to the second channel. It's in the description. The Mids Only channel. Do that for me. If I can get it to 1,000 subscribers, I will give away stuff. I have some really cool stuff that I will give away. Mystery boxes.